Welcome back to the ChampCar World Series, where Chris Cornwell starts on pole from Dominic Hudson and Akari Lopez. Ahmed Celia starts 4th from Ica World and Guillermo Perez, and in 11th place is Japan's Kazuki Sims. Daniel Ortega starts 8th from Devin Butler and Christian Bentley to round out the top 10, then it's Matthew Hart, Lam Fong and Kimi Naila. Ryan Francis starts alongside the championship leader Matthias Antonio, then it's Mario Kloske. Brondon Animates partnered with fellow rookie Zenzo. Antonio Ponte starts 19th from Davy Circulera, Ray Shen, Vita Alves in the back row of Francis Austin and Dominic Vancelao. The FG Series has just had one of its more interesting races in Melbourne, but we've arrived to the other side of Australia as all 5 lights go on. And the Surfers Paradise Grand Prix is underway with a beautiful start off the line there from Akari Lopez and from Chris Cornwell as they barrel down into turn number 1. They go side by side with the front runners. Cornwell holding on to the race lead as we look back with that Hyperdrive Advanced Racing number 96. Hudson with the inside line coming through turn 3. Making the most of that, he's up into the race lead. Looking back then, with the target chip Ganassi is out of the race, goes Dominic Vancelao. Out goes the German driver. Didn't really have a good start to this race or good qualifying at all. Hudson making the most of a seemingly alright qualifying for the man who led the early stages of the season. We are still under that caution period. Wonder when we're going to go green. So let's see. On board with Chris Cornwell. And here it is. Full course cautions are officially ending. Took a little bit longer than we thought, but we are now back under those green flags. And the best start from the top 3 has to have come from that number 10 of Akari Lopez, who we're on board with now. He's watching Chris Cornwell try and go to the inside of Dominic Hudson for the move. Going through the final 3 corners, they are side by side. The inside line belongs to the 96. It's going to have to become the outside for the first part of this chicane, but he's making the most of the exit. Chris Cornwell takes the lead in Melbourne, or Surfers Paradise, wherever we are. I'm sorry. Lap 2 of 14 begins in the Surfers Paradise Grand Prix. That's Queensland, actually. Akari Lopez moving up into 2nd place. That's one of the worst slip-ups of my time doing this. I'm sorry. Lam Fong watching Kazuki Sims duel with Ica World over 7th place. The Sims 888 driver yet to take a race win in this level of ERL competition. His dad took quite some time to get his first race win in the ERL. Now, didn't he? Joined in season 18, got his first race win in season 25. Did Jonathan Sims, as we're watching Ahmed Celia go side by side with Guillermo Perez. He's a perennial championship contender as the man in the number 3 car, but still yet to take that first one. He's going side by side with his teammate now. Almost gets past Ahmed Celia. So now looking at that 31 and thinking, yeah, car number 3 finishing in 3rd does have a good ring on it. As they round the final corner, attack mode online for everyone not named Chris Cornwell, the race leader being chased by the 10 of Akari Lopez, who's just set the fastest lap of this race, hops over the curb. Those soft tires beginning to look a lot worse for wear, as Austin is so far off of that real draft, that slipstream train that forms in the early parts of these ERL races. And Hudson now getting past Akari. Looks like he's had a better run through those corners. And into the wall goes the 10. The 10 of Akari Lopez. Contact with Guillermo Perez. Oh, that's Kazuki Sims sent spinning in that 11 car. Yellow flags flying throughout the entirety of the 2nd sector. That started down at turn 8 and continued for a while after. Akari drops down to 3rd place. He's got front wing damage. Perez has dropped down to 6th. He's also got damage. Kazuki Sims, well, his pride was already quite damaged coming into this race, and now the front wing's gone for him as well. Those 3 likely going to come into the pits to fix that. Thankfully, it wasn't a full course yellow. Ahmed Celia's moved up into 3rd with that, and in fact will take the race lead for Conquest as Cornwell and Hudson all into the pits. Ahmed Celia for Conquest Racing takes the lead of the Surfers Paradise Grand Prix. Lam Fong 2nd, with Guillermo Perez staying out in 3rd place. That's not very good because, you know, he's going to have a lot of troubles with pace due to the lack of downforce that he'll suffer. I think Dominic Hudson's come out of the pits in front of Chris Cornwell. Yes, he has. So he's the big benefactor of this round of pit stops. With Cornwell on the set of hard tires that he's on, he's not going to benefit too much as we've got yellows in Sector 1. But it goes green very quickly. Would that have been someone down pit lane? It wouldn't have been. So it would have been coming through turn 4. And there's your culprit. It's Antonio Ponte. Wasn't contact with Hudson. So yes, it was with Vita Alves. As Hudson goes by the Italian driver. Vita on a bit of an island to himself. So it just looks like a bit of a clumsy move for the man in his first ChampCar World Series season. Remember, this guy is actually a rookie. Did pretty good last season in the FG Series. Went toe-to-toe with this man, Chris Cornwell. But the 96, of course, reigning FG champion. Well, the guys who stayed out are now coming down to the pits, aside from a handful. Christian Bentley taking the lead with Ray Franca, the Trackhouse Racing, in 5th. And I don't think those tires are going to make it. I can say the same about Kimi Nyla and the Vita Alves. Vita, who's already been involved in an incident. What is he doing staying out there? Ahmed Cilia coming out in 9th. That's a net 3rd place. So the only man who's really gained from this round of pit stops, it's Dominic Hudson. Cilia was 3rd coming in and he'll be 3rd coming out. Akari, due to the fact that he hit the wall, was 4th coming in and he'll be 4th coming out. Nothing changes up front aside from Hudson taking the lead. And in fact, a big margin of a lead. He's 3 seconds up on Chris Cornwell as Vita Alves hits 4%. What about Ray Franca? He's at 5. He can make it to the end of this lap by the skin of his teeth, and so can everyone else not named Vita. Just taking a look at the minimap for a moment to see if anyone's slowing substantially, and we can't really tell as it's a front puncture for Vita Alves in the 12 car. And a rear. It's gonna develop into a full car puncture. It's a big slide there for Danny Ortega as well. More yellows down in Sector 3. Is that for anything else? No, it's... Oh! Both dragons involved in an incident there as Lamphong goes skyward! Sir Guerrero hits the wall. Ooh! It's a pile-up as Ica World comes to the scene. Ah! That's Butler as well. How are these guys still in this? As... Oh! Oh, dear! Devin Butler is out, and the cautions finally come out on lap 6 of 14. That took way too long. Way too long. That has to go down in ERL history. It's one of the biggest pile-ups. We're about to go green with the championship leader, Malius Antonio, taking us to the green flag here in Surface Paradise. His hard tires, the oldest currently out there, 34%, so he could do another lap if he wants to, but I sincerely hope he doesn't, to keep that title battle alive. Goes off the track, does Dominic Hudson, who's going side by side. Ahmad Cilia got past Chris Cornwell as Hudson takes the lead away from the KV Racing number 89. The second fastest 89 in the ERL as Ahmed Cilia, look at this from the Italian. Heard his sister was doing quite well in the FG Series, so he decided to pick up the slack in the ChampCar World Series. On lap 7 of 14, Ahmed Cilia takes the lead of the Surface Paradise Grand Prix, with Hudson and Antonio both coming down into pit lane. Looking back with a Hyperdrive Advance, number 96 there. No one's really actually taken too much of an advantage of the full course cautions coming out, now have they? The only guys who did come in, as Hudson comes out of the pits, you'll see them, they'll have 1 next to their name as they come across the line. It's Bentley, Franca, Nyla, Zenzo, and Alves who came in on that last lap with the full course yellow. Bentley actually not doing too bad up in 4th place. Zenzo and Franca having a fight over 5th, and Kimi Nyla up to 7th. So yeah, coming in actually helped as we've got yellows down in Sector 2. Goes green again, and it seems like it was for Matthew Hart. Race winner last time out in Long Beach. Comes down under, and the Scotsman just hasn't really reorientated himself yet, it seems. Sir Guerrero holding up Ortega. Both of these guys have just come into the pits. Cornwell comes down into pit row. for his second stop, and if he goes onto a set of hards, he could make it his last, but no, he's going to have a third stop as he goes onto a set of softs. Christian Bentley with the fastest lap of this race. We expect to see Cornwell re-emerge in this race within the pack, so let's go on board with the Hyperdrive Racing man as he comes down out of the pits. He'll be outside of the top 10 as well. Where is he coming out? That better not be in the path of the driver. That was in the path of Matthias Antonio. So 13th for Chris Cornwell, but my goodness, that could have been a lot worse. And cautions comes out. That's for Zenzo. And that's down at turn 8. The marshals get that one cleared up quite quickly as the Dale Coyne Racing driver is out. The rookie not having the best of days, is he? Just Ray Shen coming out of the pits there. No one else really able to take advantage of this caution. Even then for Ray Shen, he is 30 seconds outside of the points. There's no benefit. Even if everyone in front of him in the points comes in, he's not going to gain time. On board with Christian Bentley in the 32. Coming through the chicane, look at those soft tires. The left side is getting absolutely chewed up around here. Do the top 3 all come in? Well, Akari and Bentley are both in. Ahmed Celia, however, staying out. He's enjoying this. He's enjoying the fresh air, the clear air of leading a race. For the first time in quite some time, I'd say Conquest Racing probably feel confident in taking victory today. Let's look at that for Brondon. Front wing damage for the number 88. Let's see, Hudson up in 6th. Cornwell in 9th. Who else was in that top 3 before this round of pit stops? Akari Lopez is down in 12th. As there goes Perez into the wall and out of the race for the 3. That was bad. A bad wreck there for Guillermo Perez, who brings out the full course cautions. Bad news for Tonka Chip Ganassi. 13% for Kazuki Sims. Let's do a quick tire audit for those guys with tires 3 laps or older. With the softs, we can actually take a look at some of them right now because Danny Ortega at 56% as the cautions are about to end. Ahmed Celia at 48, so he could do another 4 laps if he wishes. And we are green again. Ica World now on the back of Kazuki Sims. The closest man to these guys with attack mode is the 96 of Chris Cornwell, and he moves up into 6th place. He's chasing after the net race lead here, folks, with Dominic Hudson not too far away. But he's dueling away with Mario Klosket in the number 22, looking back with the Belgian driver, and he won't see Hudson. He's already far in front in that 31 car. 4 laps to go from Surfers Paradise, Australia. And the more that Celia stays out, the closer he can get to where Hudson and Cornwell expect to pit, because we expect to see those two come into the pits on the same lap. This means for the top 3, they are attempting to skip a pit stop. If they can skip a pit stop, then they effectively maintain their track position. And I don't think I need to explain to you why for Conquest Racing, maintaining track position is a top priority, as we can watch Christian Bentley get past Vider Alves and keep it out of the wall. That 12 car has been involved in many of the wars throughout today, but thankfully he sees himself in the points for now, and in fact, quite a ways away from the man in 11th place, that of course being Antonio Ponce. Matthew Hart coming through turns 8 and 7. Now, and he's not having the best of days, is he? Kimi Nyla drops behind Dominic Hudson as he now comes into the pits. Klosket stays out, and look who's coming in. It's Chris Cornwell, who couldn't make his soft tires last to lap 12. Dominic Hudson leads as Ahmed Celia comes in. It's a set of mediums going on for the British driver. That can take him to the end. For all of you Chris Cornwell fans, he should be good to the end of this race. We expect these mediums to do 4 laps, as you can watch Dominic Hudson on his 4th. He needs to come in. We don't expect, sorry for the voice crack there, we don't expect overcutting to work as good as the under, unless the caution comes out for any reason. And if Mario Klosket on 6 lap old hards and still looking very good at 32%. we're not going to see any big tyre blow-ups, we don't think, come race's end, unless Akari and Bentley try to get themselves to the end. But I can't see Power Motorsport or Sims Racing trying to gamble that hard with their drivers. It just seems illogical to do that. As we watch Chris Cornwell come through the chicane. On the back of Jonathan Sims' son, Kazuki Sims Takahana, the heir to the Sims Racing throne, Matías Antonio, the championship leader, takes the lead of this race as Sims moves up into 10th place. Hudson's come down into the pits. Bentley comes into the pits as well. Rai Franco with the fastest third sector of anyone. Meanwhile, out in front, Akari Lopez is hustling that KV racing car in front of him. Ahmed Cilia, the net race leader, he can make it to the end. He's the only man in the top 4 that can. Well, now there are 2 men who can, because Rai Franco of Brazil can do it as that's into the wall for Akari Lopez. And the caution comes out. Both Power Motorsport drivers out of this race. Things change again. Let's take a look at who's down in the pits. During this, it's Hart and Circurera. So no change for those guys. On board with the 96 of Cornwell. On the back of Jonathan Sims. If he wants a top 5 finish, he's going to need to get the jump on the Japanese-British driver. So let's see, how good is his restart? It's not perfect, far from it, but making a lot better use of attack charge than the Japanese driver in front of him. Meanwhile, out in front, Ahmed Cilia takes the lead from Matías Antonio. As things stand, the Brazilian driver would increase his championship lead, but he sincerely, I think he's got to pit again. But no, he's staying out. He's going to be struggling on tires as we go on to the penultimate lap of the Surfers Paradise Grand Prix. Kimi Nyla's running a fantastic race once again, and so is Rai Franco. Today really seems to be the day where the rookies are showing what they've got down under. And Vitor Alves also running a pretty good race up in 5th. Haven't seen that from the Brazilian. Period. I can't name a race where that 12 car looks as good as it does right now. Matthew Hart with the fastest third sector of anyone in 16th place. Look at that as we've got yellows in sector 2. Oh, that's for Dominic Hudson. Hudson's hit the wall. He's got damage. Thankfully wasn't collected by anybody, but that drops him behind Chris Cornwell. He's given a title rival some position, and you don't do that too often or even at all. There he goes side by side and past Vitor. Meanwhile, further back, looks like a little bit more calamity. That's for Ray Shed and for Danny Ortega. The cautions come out! Oh! Shed is out of this race. Cautions come out to start the final lap. It was a full car puncture for the Chinese driver Lam Fong. The Vietnamese man now has front wing damage. We got some grey clouds here in Australia. I will be very surprised if this final lap ends in wet conditions. But then again, it's the Electric Racing League. Anything can happen here, and it often does. Vitor Alves getting the jump on Chris Cornwell. Now on the back of the Englishman, here comes Dominic Hudson. There goes Dominic Hudson up to 6th place, despite his car not being as quick as Vitor should be. Look at the state of his tires. They are absolutely chewed up. Meanwhile, out in front, it's a duel between 2 drivers who think they can get their first race wins. And also further back, there's been contact. Brandon Animates has a puncture. Sims has hit the wall. And Frank is too far back to capitalize on if Cilia has any sort of problems. The Italian driver has seen his sister do so well in the FG Series. He knew it was time to take victory in ChampCar. Ahmed Cilia for Conquest Racing takes the race win in Surfers Paradise as his teammate has a full car puncture. This is good news for Chris Cornwell's title ambitions, as that's a big slide. Coming on the back straight, Sims is out. Kazuki Sims Takahana out of this race, and my oh my, we didn't want to see that. Alves comes across the line, defies his tire mileage. Somehow, some way, Christian Bentley and Matthew Hart, two big names in the title challenge, scoring 1 and no points respectively. Antonio's going to increase his title lead as we go green again. And I think now Cornwell's going to put himself firmly into that title talk. Can he get himself onto that championship podium, as this is the fight for 16th? Who's going to be last here? If they can't catch Animates, they have caught him going down the straight. And it's going to be Lam Fong in 15th. Well then, a finishing order sandwiched by Conquest Racing. And what a win for Ahmed Cilia there. Beat Rai Franca by tenths of a second. And it's another Brazilian alongside him on the podium, Matheus Antonio. I think this sets up quite the rest of the season. As for the rest of your finishes, Kimi Nyla 4th from Chris Cornwell and Dominic Hudson. Mario Klosket was 7th from Vider Alves and Ica World. Christian Bentley rounds out the top 10, with the non-scorers being Francis Austin, Matthew Hart, Xavi Circulera, Antonio Ponte, Lam Fong, Daniel Ortega, and Brondon Animates, who had a full car puncture on that final lap. The non-finishers were Kazuki Sims Takahana, Ray Shen, Akari Lopez, Guillermo Perez, Zenzo, Devin Butler, and Dominic Vansilao. So in the Drivers' Championship, the 89 of Matheus Antonio still leads the way, but he's only got an 8-point margin to Chris Cornwell. Ahmed Cilia is currently 3rd from Dominic Hudson and Kimi Nyla. Christian Bentley 6th from Matthew Hart and Guillermo Perez. There's Daniel Ortega and Lam Fong to round out your top 10. Outside of it, the rookie of Rai Franca is 11th from Brandon Animates and Francis Austin. And it's Ica World, Kazuki Sims, Akari Lopez, Ray Shen, Davi Circulera, Matthew Kloske, Antonio Ponte, Vita Alves, Zenzo, Devin Butler, and Dominic Vansilao. Well, we've got a rookie leading the Drivers' Championship, so let's take a look at the Constructors, where Forsyth Racing now lead heading into our second trip to Japan. Target Chip Ganassi are 2nd from Nord Hyperdrive Racing and Conquest Racing. Sims 888 TGR are 5th from KV Racing Technologies and Andretti Autosport. Then it's Trackhouse Racing, Dragon Racing, Team Penske, Dale Coyne, and Power Motorsport. Well then, just take a look at this. I mean, what a season we've had so far. So much parity. No man has taken more than one race win this season. Maybe we'll see a man take 2 next time out in Japan. Or the man 2nd in points can try and get his first race win for Nord Hyperdrive. We'll only find out when the ChampCar World Series returns. But first, Formula E, next on Sparkplug Motorsport, where there has been a change to the regulations that I'm going to talk about here in the closing moments of our broadcast instead of on Sparkplug Motorsport 2. Effectively, Monopoly 2026 has a new risk statistic. Initially, it was agreed that this would be an upgradable statistic for all of the teams. However, Hyperdrive Racing took the best advantage of this, investing all of their risk for Revo and for Sanchez. And while it hasn't panned out well for Daf Sanchez, Revo's gone on to take 4 from 5. So, as Formula E gears up for their race in Melbourne, everyone's now leveled off on the risk. Maybe this will give us some better racing. We'll have to find out when the Electric Racing League returns.